Scott joins us now, men's basketball head coach here on the HIVE podcast. First and foremost, Coach, how are we doing today?
Hey, man, my old boss used to always say, every day's a good day. Try missing one. So,
Amen,
funny,
yeah.
but there's some truth to it, right? So
Absolutely is.
I try to say this to our guys on a serious note. When they ask me that, I try to say, hey, every day. And, unfortunately, someone didn't wake up today. So we woke up this morning, so it's got to be a good one.
Absolutely. It's good to be reminded of how precious things are at times. I think a lot of us have been during all of this, COVID stuff, but
that's right.
Certainly. But let's get into some more particulars related to your team. You just kind of mentioned them there, but I'm really curious to know what it's been like for you and your team, especially because it's no different than most years where you can't start till October anyway, but you've never had spring teams practicing and playing before you guys have started really either. So has that been tougher to sit back and watch everybody except for basketball doing something?
I think the tough part about our situation is you're correct. We normally don't start until October 15th in a regular year anyway. So this is no different for us as a group. I think the tough part is seeing everyone else work out, all of their, other fellow student athletes working out, getting some time with their coaches. I think that's a tough piece to look at. But the other part, I think, is the toughest part is our guys would be playing pickup throughout all this. And them not being able to do that has probably been the toughest part of it. Not only just the fact that they don't get a chance to play, but this is the time that they start to build those bonds with their teammates. And it's the way it is, really no other way around it. But, COVID has separated us in a sense where, you got freshmen in the dorms, you got some guys in Westover, you got some guys in apartment and houses. And, with everything that's going on with social distancing, that's kind of who they've been hanging out with. This has been in years past, this has been a key time for us to be able to bond, just play pickup, hang out, and they really haven't been able to do that. So I think that's the part that's been the difference amongst other years. But on the flip side, I tell the guys we get to start this week, and this is 2 weeks earlier than we normally do. So we have that as a positive, and I think our guys are just anxious to get in there and have some coaches and, get some workouts in.
Good news there. Potentially good news coming up. We've got Give Day in a week as we are recording this, or 2 weeks, I should say, as we are recording this. And I don't know where you might be as far as your team needs, but I'd love to give you the platform to go ahead and reach out to anybody listening that's a fan of basketball, an alumni, whoever it might be that might want to support your team specifically.
Well, first of all, we've had some tremendous support with our, Hornet Basketball Nation family, man. I really have been, pleased and excited and humbled by, the folks who give to men's basketball, man. And it really has increased and gotten better and better every single year. And my hearts go out to all of the folks who've been able to support us with any amount of money that is. And so in saying all that, we always need, last couple of years, we've been able to really try to push for, still in the back of my mind, I want to take a trip to Costa Rica with my team. It'd be the first foreign trip we've ever taken as a program. And so we've had to put that kind of on the back burner for a little bit. Our plan was to go this summer, 2020. So obviously we had to, put that on the table and who knows what that'll look like for next summer. So I think we're going to have to prioritize a little bit of what that's going to look like. But any money that we receive for men's basketball goes, just towards helping our program move forward with meals and travel and, gear and all of those things that we need to run a top-notch program. But we're really going to try to push to the 5 for the HIVE this year to hopefully give towards the HIVE. And our initiative in Turner is to purchase some brand new bleachers, which are much needed. I think we've done some really cool things over the last few years in terms of repainting the court, signage, those kind of things. Step for us is features, man, which would look really, really cool in there. So that's going to be our push for Give Day.
We have to bring up the voter registration goal that we've put forth to have all of our student athletes, 100% of student athletes, registered to vote, regardless of if they want to vote or not, or who they want to vote for. That's not our concern. But why was it important for you to be on that committee? When we established that at a staff meeting, yourself, Coach Kudelka, I've been involved. What was it for you that said, that's kind of my calling? I want to be a part of that process.
Well, for me, I just think it's an easy one. Again, student athletes on the process, what that looks like to be registered to vote. What does it look like to get an absentee ballot? What's it look like to really just go through that entire process and hopefully build some habits that can use, from years to come. I told my team, I didn't start voting for the first time till my late 20s. That's probably something I shouldn't admit. But if I had this kind of opportunity early on, that may have changed my mind on how all this works. And it's not about a national election. It's really just about voting in general, and that's local, statewide. This shouldn't be something we're talking about. This is something we should be have the habit of doing anytime a voting opportunity comes up. There are a lot of people who have sacrificed for us as citizens to be able to do this, and there are people who are continuing to give us the opportunity to do this. And I think it's our duty to really take advantage of this opportunity that we have. And I think all of this stems on, Joe, that us as coaches, and again, I think we do a tremendous job of this, of really just preparing our student athletes for beyond school. And this is just another aspect. We just talked about community service. This is just another part of that. And I feel like voting is almost a community service, really. It's our duty to vote and, lend our voice to what issues we think are important. And our athletes have been responding. Our coaches have been responding. And I'm super excited about, how this has been going for us since we started it.
Yeah, as am I, as the person that has to help publicize that. It's nice that we're over halfway. We don't have very many teams left. And our goal was to do that before October 7th. So we've got 6 more days for less than 6 teams to finish it out. So I think we're going to get there. And then, of course, as you mentioned, it's about educating after that. And we've got a plan for that as well. So be sure to continue to follow us if you don't already at Lynchburg Sports on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll use those platforms to help with that. And certainly Coach Scott and men's basketball have taken the lead on some of these initiatives as well. I am curious, as we've got about 5 minutes left here on this recording, so we've got time. What was it like to get everyone in the same area when you, I think it was a week ago maybe, to help out with educating them on absentee ballots? Was there a moment where you kind of stood back and thought, wow, this is a huge moment in these guys' lives, even if they don't understand it yet?
Yeah, I mean, just having everybody there sitting there with their laptops and just attentive. And, part of this, Joe, is we've had this conversation way back in the spring. We talked about, the importance of voting and my team, I'm so proud of my guys that, they have hit the ground running with this, and it's been no kickback, no, it's just that they have hit the ground running and have been, unbelievably supportive about what we have to do to make this happen. I think the coolest moment, Joe, is I had a couple of guys who already had their ballots, which, I was like, okay, so we have a few guys on the team who have already gone through this process.
Yeah.
Some of them on their own, some of them with their parents' help. But to have them say, Coach, I already did this, man, that says a lot about where we are in terms of their mindset and how important they feel this is, and not having just a coach stand up and get us all together to get it going. So I'm hoping it was a moment where, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, 5 years, whatever that is, and they're an opportunity where they may have to use a mail-in ballot, they can shoot Coach Scott a text or remember, hey, I remember when we sat down in the gym that day and did the absentee ballot process. Coach, where was that site, or how do we do that? Or, send me a text and say, Coach, I remembered how we did that and I made it happen. And so these are the moments and opportunities as a coach and us as an entire staff. And this is what we're there for, to prepare them for beyond school.